Hey everybody, Steve here, and on today's episode of Coach's Car Ride, we're going to ask and answer the question, who is Mary and what does her room have to do with strength and conditioning? Hey, so welcome back everybody. In this episode, we're going to talk a little bit of philosophy and what that has to do with strength and conditioning. So who is Mary? Where is her room, and what the heck does it all have to do with me talking about it now? So to understand what I'm talking about today, we need to go back to 1982 and a guy named Frank Jackson, and what he proposed was a theoretical thought experiment on knowledge. And so I'll give you a quick rundown of what it is. I'll also put a link down below. There's a TED talk about it, which is pretty awesome. And they cover it much better than I will here. But if you haven't heard of Mary's room and want to keep listening to the episode to understand what we're talking about, here's what it is. So Mary, she's a scientist. In fact, she's probably the greatest scientist ever and researcher to do with our eyeballs and how we see. She knows everything there is to know about your eyes. She knows what colors you're seeing just by looking at scans of your brain. She understands everything about color. But she lives in a room, and this room is only black and white. So she's never seen color before. So as the thought experiment goes, is that when Mary eventually goes outside, or in the more, I guess, modern one, when she's on her computer that is black and white, an apple pops up and it's red. This is the first time she's ever experienced color before. Or when she goes outside and she sees red roses, this is now adding to her consciousness, to her experience. So the question then asked is, even though Mary already understood everything there is to know about color, does actually seeing color change her perspective? Does it change her consciousness? Does it make her have a better understanding of what color is? So schools of thought kind of go back and forth on this, but what I want to get to and what I actually want to talk about is, you could know every single book, piece of literature, piece of science, research that is out there regarding strength and conditioning, but having never actually taught someone how to do something like a squat or a bench press, or having never experienced it yourself, we're arguing that has an impact on your understanding of the sport or exercise. So even though you may know absolutely everything there is to know about strength and conditioning, having not actually experienced it or taught it impacts your perspective, whether you know it or not. So this goes just to the point that it's great to have all these pieces of paper and do all this research and have this awesome understanding of it, but it's not as valuable if you don't back it up with experience. More often than not, in the strength and conditioning and personal training community, it's the other way around. It's people that don't have the pieces of paper, that have these years of experience, but don't have the academic knowledge to back up what they do, why they do. And if they do, it's typically limited. I talk about the Dunning-Kruger effect in a recent Instagram post and a post on my website that I'll link to down below. Maybe I'll do another video of that later. So regardless, the Mary's room, the knowledge experiment or thought experiment, looks at, even though you know absolutely everything about something, you can't fully understand it or appreciate it until you've experienced it. So not only is it important for us to get out there and get the knowledge and learn and go to classes and read new studies and books, it's always important to do that, but it's also important to go out there and actually experience it and work with someone and apply what you've read in a book. So that's all I want to say today on that. Maybe in my next one I'll talk about the Dunning-Kruger effect and how you're not as smart as you think you are. But regardless, that's it from me today. If you guys enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate it if you gave this video a like. And if you learned something new, don't forget to share and comment. Other than that, I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll talk to you guys next time.